Hi, Creative Artist Magazine is here. Pauline Samuels, founder and editor-in-chief, and I'm here today with Sophocles Plokamakis. Hi, Sophocles.
Hi, Pauline. How you doing?
And I may have butchered your name just a little bit. Can you go ahead and tell the viewers how it's actually pronounced?
No problem. It's Sophocles Plokamakis.
Okay, see, it just flowed right off your tongue. No problem. And so, Sophocles, you are the co-founder and curator for Start Shows in New York City, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
As well as the creator of Farm Boy Comics. I'm a fan, by the way. I have my Farm Boy comic right here. I love it. Can't wait for the second one to come in. So go ahead and tell me about the Start Shows. How'd you get started with that? Where does this come from? What is it?
Well, it all started in the first show that I curated at One Art Space Gallery. It was called September Fest, and that's where I met my wife. Then she wasn't my wife. Her name is Thais, and she was one of the artists in the show. So I met her at Drop Off, and she was really talented. So I started talking to her, and she stayed in New York for a while after that. And we had another show in December of 2018, right after September, called December Fest. And she did a few shows after that, and 5 shows at One Art Space later. It was in 2019. We formed Start Shows because we had the idea to form it because we saw that there was a need for it. There's so many people were enjoying, and they wanted to exhibit their artwork in a New York City gallery.
Yeah.
Emerging artists, they really loved the idea, and we really loved it too. And it was like just serendipitous, like I met the co-founder of the company that we formed at the first show that I did at One Art Space. And then we formed it, and we made a few shows since then at One Art Space and at another location called Jump Into the Light.
Okay, that's awesome. I am a fan of Start Shows because, like Creative Artist Magazine, they are helping aspiring artists to get the word out about themselves, because there's a lot of super talented, passionate people out there that just need the audience to see them. And I commend you for doing Start Shows, you and your beautiful wife for starting Start Shows. I'm a fan of the whole Start Shows idea, and just wanted to let you know that. And several of the artists from Start Shows have actually been featured in my magazine in the latest copy here. So we have Leah Sands and Coast TDS. And
That's right.
Yes, and Jason was featured in along with you, in the bonus edition that we have out.
Yeah, I met Jason at the latest show at New York Rises. I saw some of his artwork. He's really talented.
Really talented artist. I'm waiting for him to not be so busy so he can do some artwork for me. Okay, so now I am a fan of comics, and I wanted to check out Farm Boy and see if it could, be a new comic for me, a series for me to get into. And I like the creators of comics, that mind, that creative mind, it's like being a kid that grow up, but you're still a kid. That creative mind is just there flying through the universe and coming up with these brilliant ideas that once a lot of people get grown and they lose that. And I haven't. So I love stuff like this. And I read the entire book because I just had to. I devoured the whole thing, and now I'm hooked and can't wait for it to be continued so I can get the next installment. It made for an incredible read. I am a fan of comics, and I like the style that he used in creating this one here. The read was quite hypnotic, and it kept me focused on the characters, explained things well, had a great storyline, and a great way to go into another one. I can't wait to see more from this amazing author of these beautiful comic books, Farm Boy. If you like comics at all, this is a really good read. It'll suck you in before you know it. And by the time you get to the end, you'll be calling Sophocles up and asking him how long before the next installment.
Thank you so much.
So what gave you the brilliance in mind to do this, Farm Boy? Where's
Well,
that come?
Farm Boy all started at the School of Visual Arts when I was still in college. In my sophomore year, I took my first comic class with Keith Mayerson. He's like a mentor for me and like a really awesome teacher there. And he's my favorite teacher from the School of Visual Arts. And he just told us, you should draw what you love. So I took that to heart. And, I also taught art to kids and middle school kids and adults for several years. And I taught them the same thing that my teacher taught me. So I really love sci-fi movies, sci-fi comics. I love action. I love martial arts. I love things that make me laugh. So I figured, why not make a comic about something that includes all of those things, all the things I'm passionate about? Because I feel like when you make a comic that you're passionate about, then other people will respond to it too. And you'll find people that are passionate about the same things. And if they feel your excitement in the pages, then it'll rub off and they'll be excited about the pages too. So at first it was called Anti-Alien Man when I was just coming up with like the idea for the story. But then I was like, I don't know, I don't like the sound of it. And then it just clicked and I was like Farm Boy, and that's it.
Really? So he had another name, Anti-Alien Man. Oh gosh. Okay, so that was a trivia for me. I would have not known that. Um, well, most things we go through different names before we come up with the one. And so do you have any particular reason why you said Farm Boy? Is it because of the backdrop of being on the farm? And is that you?
Well, the character does have some similarities to my appearance. I don't know, because like I'm a vegetarian personally, and Farm Boy is a vegetarian as well, and he doesn't eat his animals. They're on his farm and he takes care of them, and they're like his friends. So basically, I love animals too, and I don't eat animals. I don't know. I just had the idea. He didn't always look how he does now. He used to have spiky hair. Now he has curly hair. In the original edition of Farm Boy, it was
Right?
just in black and white in college and school because I was learning how to ink comics. And then many years later, after having more ideas about it and fleshing the story out more, especially after Art is the Cure at One Art Space Gallery, one of the Start shows, there were so many colorful paintings and drawings on the walls that it just inspired me to add full color and go back to my project with Farm Boy from like more than 10 years before and start to actually flesh it out and really make it a professional comic that looks really awesome and that people can get behind and just enjoy and, be entertained by and may possibly learn some things from too. So that's how that came about.
Well, I can tell you right now, the things that you just said were things that I got. I learned something, I was entertained by it, and it did keep me going. Once I got into it, there was no coming out. And again, I'm not making this up. I can't wait for the second installment. And yeah, this is a good comic, you guys. And I like that it's drawn like this. It's just so authentic. These are like collectors, the kind of things that touch my heart. Now, when you send me my comic in the mail, you also included a little bonus gem that I knew nothing about. And it's so simple of a thing, but it's also so profound and deep. And I guess a person would actually have to have one of these to understand what I said. What's up with this little gem that was sent to me? Actually, it's pretty big. But what was the deal with this? What is
Well, Subway City was it's a double-sided comic book. On the right side, if you open it up from right to left, so the opposite way,
Yeah.
basically it reads like a Japanese comic if you go from the back side. So you read it from right to left, and that's a separate book, Metro Manga Japan, and it has my travels in the Japanese subway systems and bullet trains in Japan. I went to Japan twice, and that really inspired my teaching as an anime and manga teacher in after school programs. It inspired my artwork and just changed my art making process in general. If you flip to the other side from the front, it's my journeys of making comics in the New York City subway of real New Yorkers that are commuting, and then I come up with like fictional, like sometimes comical, sometimes serious, sometimes motivational captions to go along with what I see and that inspires me and what I draw. So in Japan as well, I was drawing the things that I saw that inspired me. So I've been drawing in the subways systems of the world since like 2009 in New York City. It wasn't consistent yet. I wasn't doing it all the time. But then in 2011, that's when I started to really draw in the subway, like every single time I was in the subway. And I've drawn in the London Tube. I've drawn all over the whole New York City subway map through every stop. I've drawn in the Japanese subways in Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, and Kyoto. And I've also drawn in Brazil and in California and in Washington, D.C.
Wow, you're well traveled. You are well traveled. So now you are currently, and Start Shows is in New York.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I just wanted everybody to know, we sometimes make that assumption. I'm in Huntington Beach, California here, and Sophocles is there in New York City. And we are proud to feature your work in our magazine, and let the world know, because we believe that you guys are sharing the beautiful world of art with regards to the movement here. I'm looking to make 2021 the year for the artist, because there's just so much talent out there. And I think that with all that's going on, that exploring the mind is pretty much what's left. You've got to come up with creativity. You've got to have these things going on in order to find any kind of sanity right now. And so I think that the artist can really come up from this. Now with COVID, are you going to be able to do any shows with Start Shows?
Well, we are taking a break for like just a few months, but we should have another show in May.
Okay,
And we're going to be taking special precautions like we took in the last two shows, masks on the whole time, even though it's going to be in May. We're
right.
still going to be taking that precaution. Hand sanitizer at the door, temperature screenings at the door,
Awesome.
and, like masks stay on the whole time. And we do provide like water at not inside the gallery, but outside of the gallery, so people can have like something to drink,
Okay.
but not inside. That way they don't have to take their mask off. And
Okay.
we have a lot of precautions going by, and there's a limited capacity in the gallery too, so it doesn't get too crowded.
Awesome. So you do a number check. Mask must be worn the whole time that they're in there, and you do a temperature check. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have had some successes. I know that you had a show in December with some of the artists that also is mentioned here in Creative Artist Magazine, Coast, TDS, and I think Leia Sands was also there.
Yeah, Coast was there, but Leia wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, because of the snow.
Oh,
She got snowed in. Her flight got canceled. But it was really cool for Coast and many of the other artists. Coast sold a piece. We had Diana Benigno. She sold, I think, 2 pieces, and she's done a few shows with us. She sold many pieces, and it's cool to see the artists that keep doing the shows, how their art keeps evolving, because they're getting other artists' feedback and collectors' feedback about their artwork, and they take it to heart. And then it's cool to see how they evolve and like apply that art. Like an artist like David Bogota, he basically sold 7 pieces at that show in 4 days. And in the show beforehand, he only had 1 piece up and he didn't sell it, but he just made some little changes. Like he used the space that he got really well. He got a 4x4 foot space, and then he made a bunch of small pieces and a few bigger ones to draw the eye. And then a lot of the smaller pieces sold. So he made a good profit. And he also like was really inspired, and he really enjoyed the show. It's just really awesome to see these artists succeeding and coming into the show, and like getting feedback from other artists and meeting collectors and curators, and also like getting a chance to sell their work and keep 100% of the money that they make from all sales of their art.
Awesome. You know what? This is what touches me. And that's why I'm more than happy to share the beautiful world of art that you are also sharing for those artists that want to showcase their art and sell their work. This is beautiful. I love what you guys are doing there.
Thank you.
Sophocles, I just want to thank you right now for joining us here today to tell us more about Start Shows as well as your comic, Farm Boy. And we'll also put up any information how people can reach out to you. I know you have your Instagram and you have Facebook, and I will put up the information. They can always DM you also. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. And then how about purchasing Farm Boy? Is there something?
To purchase Farm Boy, basically you can either go on Sophotunes, that's SOPHOTOONS on Instagram and DM me, and then I'll give you the information. Or you can go to startshowsnyc.com, and in the shop you can find it and you can just pay for it there, and then I'll ship it to you.
Awesome. Yes, I got mine shipped to me, everyone, and it's been a treat. I'm going to treasure this, as well as my little thank you note here, personalized to me. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And once again, thank you for joining me today. And I'll put up any information on the screen for everyone to see how they can get in touch with you, as well as head over to Creative Artist Magazine and get our latest copy of Creative Artist Magazine. We have our bonus edition here, and it is jam-packed with artists from all over on and you can head over there. We're also giving free shipping for anyone who spends over $40. So head over to creativeartistmagazine.com. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and it was a pleasure talking with you. And I highly recommend Creative Artist Magazine. I got 5 copies for myself, 6 copies actually for myself, and so I can share with family and friends. Thank you so much for having me in the magazine and for the interview, Pauline. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Here we go. Hi, Creative Artist Magazine is here today with another interview of our artist series. And we have today Sophocles Plokamakis. Cut. Okay.
Plokamakis.
Plokamakis.
You got it.
Okay.